Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone not, I guess is the better question.
Still getting there.
Is it letting you through and it's just churning or?
It's just being slow.
Okay, yeah. Okay, as long as we're showing progress, yeah. You can't, okay, let me look over your shoulder and see. I'm not the IT person, but I can rummage around a little bit with these things. So what do you got? You got the book there, okay. So you got your Gwinnett Tech email address.
Using your email.
Right. Is anyone else logging in with like a student ID number?
Yes, sir.
Did that work?
Yeah.
The student ID number versus your email address?
Yes.
Okay. So here's where I guess I'm a little challenged because just I'm part of the the employee. I guess my credentials are different. So, but others have used the student ID and then the password. Now you got a welcome, so it looks like no. Well, it's okay. We're going to be okay without logging in for a little while here. Today, I just want to go over, what they call administrivia. I just want to talk about what we're going to do, class policies, things along that. We'll do an icebreaker toward the end. And so far as, can y'all see this? I guess I gotta throw that out. In the back, can you see it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Normally when I've used this class before, I've turned it if you're good with this, I'm good with this. So if anyone's having trouble, with the visuals, because it is somewhat faint, I'm gonna make an adjustment. Good. So welcome to English 1010. It sounds like there's a number of people who this may be their first course at Gwinnett Tech, or is that true, first semester? Welcome in, have a seat, and let's log in. Have you all used Blackboard before?
Yes, sir.
Anyone not? Okay, all right. So there's just a couple things I can demo. Again, I don't know if you're seeing something similar when you get into the login page. You got a bunch of boxes. I got a whole lot here. So what, obviously there's things with if you need to use Word or anything, you got the Office 365. But I just want to look at Blackboard, right now, and you can click it. And what it should show you is all your classes you're enrolled in. So as you're opening this up, and again, this is churning a little bit slow. But it's going to show me all the classes that I'm teaching, but it should show you all the classes you're enrolled in, so there's a little bit of apples to apples, comparisons. And slowly, we're going to get there. So you can actually, you probably default to something like this. So you go to your courses, and here's all my courses. So I've got my English 1010 here. It's actually combined. I'm teaching two English 1010s. This one and the one that meets in the next hour. So anyhow, you pop this guy open, and you're going to see a bunch of things here. And I'm going to go over some of this stuff, which I want to speak to. Where else should one go but start here, right? So I want to talk about. Well, let me step back. Did anyone read the announcement? Okay, some did, some didn't. So what you're going to see, you should, when you log in, there should be something that says announcement, right? This was posted. So 13 people out of 49. That's not a really good ratio. I'll be honest with you. It tells me who's read the announcement, who's not. These are kind of things that are put out there because they're important. So probably any time when you open up this section, please come in. Log English 1010. Morning. English 1010.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. English 1010. Know where that was coming from. Two people at the same time. Have a seat and please log in. We're just getting started. So these are important things. Read the announcements. Full house. Welcome in. Have a seat. Please log in. So, welcome to English 1010. A couple of things here, just sort of because this is important. What they say here is check Blackboard, where we have just logged into, or most of us have, and some about to, and check your GTC email several times a week. So, how many times, what a nuisance, right? To log in to try to check an email, and then you find out if you follow these instructions, you log in, and there's no email, fine, so you log out, you don't log back in for a couple more days. But let's just say 2 minutes after you log out, I send an email that's really important to everybody, and you're not gonna look at it for a few days, right? That's, so it sort of almost defeats the purpose. What I 100% encourage, strongly encourage, I can't demand it, but I would like to demand it, is if you can set up the Gwinnett Tech email on your phone. If I can do it, I'm sure anybody else in this room can do it, because I'm probably the most technically challenged of anybody here due to my age and all that. But why do I do this? Is because every time someone sends me an email, I see it on my watch, and I go, oh, okay, I just got a Gwinnett Tech email, so let me see what it is. And rather than having to go to my computer and log in and go through the roads, you know, there's the icon here for Outlook. I click it, touch it, and it opens it up, and it's right there. So you have that sort of that immediacy of some kind of email alert. Now, not only is this going to be a huge convenience anytime anything is sent out via email, I do a fair amount of communication to the group via email and things to do, things along those lines. We're going to see. But let's just say I can't make it to class for whatever reason. Maybe I'm sick, or maybe something happens, right? The only way I can really tell you all is by email. So that's your way of knowing. And if you're only logging in once every couple of days, you're going to be sitting here waiting for someone to show up. So just if you can, connect your phone to the Gwinnett Tech email so you can get announcements promptly. The other thing, just on the subject of email, is that's how we're going to communicate electronically. Don't use your Gwinnett Tech email. Don't use your personal email. The college is very strongly, they sort of enforce this kind of thing because they want to see all the communications that go on between me or the faculty and their students for various reasons. One, they want to make sure I'm responsive to you. I can be pretty responsive, especially since I know when I get your emails, and I can give you replies, as reasonably promptly as I possibly can. But also they want to make sure there's content. So if you have a question about something, at least they want to see how I answer it, to make sure that I'm giving you clear instruction on how to do something, so not only responding, but I'm giving you something clear for you to follow. If you certainly can CC yourself on, if you're sending a Gwinnett Tech email to me from your Gwinnett Tech account, if you want to CC yourself, that's all fine and good. A lot of people like doing that because they like to have the extra record. I won't respond to it because I need to keep everything in the platform. So let's just try to use the Gwinnett Tech email as we're communicating. I will somewhere along the line put my cell phone out there, but how many y'all's numbers am I going to recognize really? If you start sending me text. So if there's an emergency, say you're in a car accident on the way over and we're having a test, that's the kind of thing where it's like, hey, here, I got to send you this text as I'm being shuttled off to the hospital or something along those lines. So that's the only time I would want to have any kind of text. Only it's an absolute emergency. And certainly the college won't, they wouldn't condone using text to communicate on a regular, normal basis because it's going to fall outside the system, which they don't want. Submit all assignments on time. And you can see it bolded here, and I didn't write this, the English department wrote this, and I think this is probably, college-wide about late work. And I know this is a bone of contention with a lot of people. When I ask for feedback, because I'll ask you for feedback toward the end of the year, a lot of people giving me feedback said, I didn't like the fact that you don't accept any late work. Not me, it's the college. You can see it in bold. I'm going to put deadlines. I'm going to cut off some things along those lines. Normally, my deadlines are like midnight Sunday, but I just want to use that kind of cadence. So if something's assigned today, I want to do midnight Sunday, and then if something comes in at 1 minute, 12:01 a.m. on Monday morning, it's late. Sorry, I know you tried. But the moral of the story is don't wait till the last minute. And this happens every semester. People are waiting till the last minute. Maybe you get a lag. Maybe something, your Wi-Fi drops, something goes wrong, at 11:55, 5 minutes before the due date, and you don't get something in, and then someone sends me an email and says, oh, please, this happened. Well, sorry, I'm not at liberty to make any exceptions to accepting late work. Is what it is. So if a due date is Sunday, try to, change your habits. If you're one of those like me, who wait till the last minute to do something. try to change your habits, get it done early, put it behind you, do it by Friday so you can enjoy the weekend kind of a thing. Or if you're just gonna put your feet up on a Sunday afternoon, if you have time, in between ball games or whatever you do on a Sunday, just give yourself plenty of time to get this stuff in. Because it's a shame if someone loses points and if someone would fail the class because they just could have gotten their work done a few minutes earlier. So anyhow, enough said about late work. The textbook, if you've been reading ahead, is online. I'll show you how to access it and all that. So you don't need to buy a book. I know a lot of people don't like the online text, so I'm not a huge fan of them, but I mean, it is what it is. That's how they provide the text. Presumably, if you really wanted to buy the text, you could find a used version of it cheaply, but nonetheless, we'll just be using it in class. When we go use the text, we'll be doing the online version of it. If you need to see me about anything, please reach out. Don't wait till the end. I mean, we're here to help. This is learning support, right? I mean, my role is to be sort of a conduit to y'all's success, right? So reach out. Won't bite you. I don't take myself too seriously. I'd like to have a level, what do I say, not level playing field, but what do they call it, like the flat organization, where we should be able to talk about anything, pretty much any time. So here to help. The last thing, and this is the no-show assignment. I'll show you how to access that. And this is explain some of the sort of behind-the-scenes stuff maybe a little later. But the no-show assignment means you've showed up for class and you've established a presence. So if you don't complete the no-show assignment, you have not established a presence and you'll be dropped from the course if you don't do it by like the 19th, I think is the date. And what that means is I'll tell the registrar you didn't show up because even if you're here, if you don't complete the no-show assignment, I'm going to tell the registrar you didn't complete it, they're going to drop you. And if you want to continue with this class, you're going to have to go back to the registrar, go through hoops to get back into class. That's simple. It's a nuisance, so don't forget, do the no-show if you want to stay in this class. If you want to drop the class, don't do it. Guess what? You'll be dropped. I mean, it's that simple. But anyhow, so any questions? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this one thing that's good about Blackboard. It does a student preview thing, so I can see the screen as you see it. I see it as the faculty, and I can see all grades and all that kind of stuff. This thing, of course, has plenty of controls in it. So let's see what this looks like from your side. So if we go back to start here, here this works. Okay, here we go. So here's where you find the no-show assignment. Give you the heads up. As you see, there's a little lock next to it, right? A lock here. So it's there's sort of like a trickle-down effect here. So what I'm going to do, and again, today it's administrivia. I'm sorry, my bad for not filling this piece out. I think you probably all have my email, but I'll put it out here and I'll put my other contact here. Instructor's name, I should have said that maybe at the beginning, Douglas Laine, Mr. Douglas Laine. I'm not a PhD, so none of that doctor stuff. Even if I was, I wouldn't take it that seriously. Excuse me. So you can call me Mr. Laine, you can call me Professor Laine, you can call me Professor. Prof is a little too casual for me, maybe a little old school. Some people actually call me Mr. Douglas, and I don't know if they did that thinking that Douglas might be my last name, but I'm good with any of the above. So a few things about policies, academic policies. Are you all familiar? Some people are new, but I imagine this is going to be standard. If you want to get an A in this class, your whole percentage point value is going to have to be above a 90 or above. B, so you got that bracket. We're all looking at brackets here, if you can see this okay. B is 80 to 89, C 70 to 79, D 60 to 69, and then F is going to be 59 and below. So in terms of attendance, and this is key to success in this class, so we just put it out there, because the chances of you getting a passing grade in this class are very tightly connected to your being here. Because I have a lot, and there's two reasons. I I do a lot of in-class work that's deliverable, deliverables in class, so, I'm gonna ask y'all to produce something while you're here. It might be a quiz, it might be a writing, it might be a, problem set, from the textbook, things along those lines. And, those will add toward a chunk of the grade. I think it's, I forget if it's 25 or 30, but I'll point that out a little bit later. So being here, handing the work in, while you're here, that's gonna help give you points. Now, I know that nobody has perfect attendance, except me, so far. So if you miss a class and there's a deliverable, you're not gonna get credit for it. There's no like, I can make it in class because I'm sick, can I make it up? No, you gotta be here to do it in class, it's just part of the rule. But don't sweat it. If we have something like a deliverable, let's say if we have a dozen of these, 10, we'll probably have at least 10 over the course of the term. If you miss one, that's a very small percentage of a small percentage. So it's not gonna hurt you if you miss one or two. You don't wanna miss a bunch of them. If you come to half of the classes and you end up getting, you only earn 25% of the in-class stuff, I mean, that you can still pass the class, of course, but you've got to do pretty well on all the other things in order to pass it. So be here. The other thing about being here is, if you want to learn stuff, the best way is to talk about it. And I'm not going to be up here just sort of be the talking head, but I want to explain things. I want to hear what kind of questions you have about things, so you leave here with an understanding of it. That's all going to help. So computer, let's see, skip over some of this stuff. Academic integrity, big deal. Has anyone ever used ChatGPT or any other assistive technologies? Yes, somebody has. Come on.
What about
Has anybody
iAsk.ai?
not used it? Has anybody not used ChatGPT? You've not used it?
I don't even know where to find it.
Okay, good for you.
What about
and there's plenty of other assistive technologies out there. I use ChatGPT. Do you have a comment or question?
I use iAsk.ai.
Okay, similar, artificial intelligence, one of these things that, so for those who have, do you have a comment to make on artificial intelligence? Who's used it? What do you think about it? Yeah?
What do you think?
I know, I'm asking you. Ask you first. Come on, somebody.
It helps.
Yeah? Okay. Anyone else?
It's great.
You said it's great?
Yes.
It's great. Okay, someone thinks it's great. What about you?
So you shouldn't rely on it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going the right direction with this. Again, you asked me for my opinion, I'm about to give it to you. So it's good, but it's not great. It's not always right. You gotta be careful about this stuff. And even other assistive technologies, even if you have like grammar check, spell check, your Word, Google Docs, your email, that kind of thing, they're not always right. I'll point some things out, where they're not always right. And the thing is, it's okay to use these things as a tool, but you don't want to use them as a crutch, right? So if you're relying on ChatGPT or MS Word or something to do all your corrections for you, and let's just say, especially with the ChatGPT thing, what are you going to do, if your battery dies on the phone? Guess what? Your crutch has been taken away from you, and you're lost at sea. You're gone, which is, the reason you got to learn this stuff. And when we do a lot of grading and stuff on grammar and syntax and all that kind of stuff. So if you're using, Microsoft Word to help you correct and it gives you a squiggly or something that says, oh, this doesn't look right, you want to fix it. Well, I tell you, it's not always right. All the time, it says this might be wrong, but if you don't know the difference, you're not going to know whether or not you need to correct it or not. So it's one more reason why, it's helpful. Because it tells you there might be something. So if I see a word that's squiggled in an email or whatever, I might look at it twice and I think, what is MS thinking? Then I got to look at it and go, well, it's I like the way I have it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to tell it to buzz off, right? But it's just one of those things where it can be helpful, but if you rely on it too much, you're going to get burned. And there's so much stuff I've read about, AI. And granted, you can say it's a marvel with the stuff that comes up. But if you don't know the difference, you can get yourself in trouble.
Yep.
So, especially, someday you can be interviewing for a job, and having been a hiring official, someone's looking at their notes or looking at something else, and they don't know what they're talking about. I'm not going to hire them. One more reason not to rely on this stuff as as gospel. So it's also against, company policy, as they say, it's not your own work. You want to be original, and so on. Let's see.
Oh.
So I guess the moral of that whole, academic integrity is do your own work. It's not only is it the rule, but it's for your own good. So let's see. Some more goodies here. Oh, netiquette. Anyone familiar with the term netiquette? Wants to jump in and tell me what it means? Netiquette? Etiquette? What about etiquette? Good manners, right? Be polite to people, all that. Netiquette over cyber communications, right? So just push a couple words together. Over the net, be polite. Little things like that. When you're writing an email, who hasn't been in a situation where you receive an email or a text from somebody and it's in big capital letters or something like that, and feel like someone's about to bite your head off through the phone. It's the kind of thing where that's sort of a violation of netiquette, because it sounds like you're yelling at somebody. You may not be. Maybe you're just trying to make a point or emphasize something. But just the way we communicate electronically, just try to be careful, about it, and try to. I would say, try to talk. If you're writing something, an email, try to write it as though you're talking to the person, like you're right here in front of me, right? So in striking distance. We used to joke, if somebody can't do you any harm, and people have a tendency to say all this, snarky, mean comments because the person isn't right there to do you any damage. But just think about it. And if things get out of hand, and again, it probably wouldn't in this setting, but professionally, this may come into play quite often. If things get a little out of hand, someone sends you something in big, bold capital letters, and then you send them something back in bigger, bolder capital letters. All of a sudden, you've got this like a snowball going downhill. It just gets worse. It's the kind of thing where, just professionally, I just say, hey, what's going on? Can we talk about this? Every time when that situation happens, like, the person might walk into my office just angry and thinking about to hit me all red in the face. It's like, what's going on here? Because they sit down and it's just like, hey, they just let it go. You just chat, talk about it, get to the point. You understand where they were coming from their side, where I was coming from my side. It all worked out. So, a few things about, work ethics, employability skills. Here, this is sort of, career, planning, training, preparation, kind of a thing. I brought up attendance. Your success is being here. I guarantee you, your success in the workplace is if you're there. Having been a manager as well with hiring fish and everything else, you really got to empathize with what it's like when people don't show up for work. Everyone gets sick, but half your team calls in sick the day after the Super Bowl. It ain't very fun. There's people that probably aren't going to get promoted. They're not going to get the cash award, the bonus, that kind of thing. Things about let's see. We'll talk about communication, etiquette. We will be doing some things here insofar as teamwork goes, and we will try to, because we have a big group, we'll be breaking off into small groups and doing some work here and there. And I do obviously expect you all to be contributors to your group when we break out in groups. Let's see. A couple other things. Communication. Missing here. Oh yeah, here we go. Character. Loyalty, honesty, trustworthiness. Kind of things that go a long way in the workplace. Initiative. As a manager, when people show their own initiative, I love you as an employee. If I give you an assignment and you work at it and you do everything you possibly can to get it done on your own. Of course, we're apples and oranges because this isn't a workforce thing, but just to sort of think about down the road, employability and success and being an employee. Initiative, being reliable, you're there. Trustworthiness, self-responsibility. Who wants to take a stab at what self-responsibility means to them? Self-responsibility. Somebody? Self-responsibility? No?
Taking accountability for doing with assignments and non-assignments.
Taking accountability, yeah, for assignments. I think that's a good start, but I almost think it's broader than that. It's like it's I'm accountable, right? I'm a professor, I'm accountable, my bad, I made a mistake, I own it, you know? Why is that important? I mean, one, because we're all human, we're all gonna make mistakes. Of course, this is a place where we wanna be making mistakes, because we're gonna learn from them. You can learn from someone else's mistakes, so don't be shy about, you know, about stuff, mistaking, anything like that. All gonna learn. I've never had a problem with an employee who has told me that, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, you know, I dropped the ball there. But I do have a problem with an employee who drops the ball and lies about it. So no, it wasn't me, you know, it was someone else. So just be, you know, I just want to emphasize, you know, in the class, it's okay to make a mistake. In the real world, you know, I guarantee you, your boss will maybe be pissed off because you dropped the ball. They would rather hear that, honestly, that you dropped the ball than you lying about dropping the ball, okay? So it's hard to do, it's another skill. Let's see, I mentioned organizational skills and all that, just, you know, setting your priorities up, getting things done, don't wait till the last minute, and all that. Let's see, any other goodies here? I think that's about it. And this one, you got course policies here, some other things I wanna go over. Yeah, the no-show, the writer's world, it's on the, through Blackboard. It happened to me yesterday, I think. Yeah, right, it's still spinning. Some things about the, just the, and it's probably down here somewhere, but just in terms of completing work, you're gonna need a desktop or a laptop somewhere, you know, as this thing opens up fully. It should say something along the lines like Chromebooks, iPads, phones, you know, that you can log in, but there's some things you can't do, there's limited functionality. So if I wanna, obviously I just shared before, I can check my email on my phone, my Gwinnett Tech email, I can log in and I can look up some little things on Blackboard, but I wouldn't be able to grade an item on Blackboard. So think of it this way, if I can't grade it, you can't submit it on your phone. So you're gonna need desktop, laptop. There may be some iPads that have enough power in them these days to do this, but just be mindful. And the other thing just about technology, and this is something that does happen, you know, if your computers crash, you know, like I said, if your computer crashes on Sunday and something's due, I can't accept the late work. So just be, again, another thing to be mindful of. I mean, we did have a student in a prior term who, I think the phone was destroyed or something, the person couldn't log in with that double factor. I don't know what the plan B is for something like that. You know, if IT can override something and get you in, or how all that works, but it's just one of these things where, you know, the technology sometimes fails us. And just be ready to have a plan B just in the event, you know, it fails you. Excuse me, here's, you know, the scheme, I mean, paragraphs, homework assignments, you know, that will include the things we do, the in-class deliverables. So there's a lot of stuff there that can be up to 30% of the grade. We will have at least 3 tests, you know, the multiple choice, comprehensive, talking about things, going over things we've done, so that's another 30. And I'll elaborate more about the workplace portfolio stuff in the elevator pitch. You know, as time comes, that'll be, the emphasis on that will be toward the end of the semester. What you know, expectations are that you know, put together things like a cover letter, resume, you know, and other things to help grease the skids for applying for work. Let's see, talked about assignments, talked about grades. Actually, late work's not accepted. A lot of repeat here. Artificial intelligence. That's about it on this one. So, as we move along, we've done the syllabus, technology requirements. If you're following along, you know, as you see, I've got a green. I know I don't have a lock here, right? I've got the green check mark because I've opened it. And oh yeah, here's where they talk about the Chromebook and stuff. So you're going to need laptop, desktop, what have you. These course-specific technology requirements, I mean, we are going to be using things in the Microsoft Office suite. You know, if you like Google Docs instead, I mean, you can use that too, to submit your assignments. If you don't have Microsoft on your suite on your own computer, they have the online version, you know, which through you know through the school which you can use. So whatever floats your boat. I don't really care which one you use, or even if you create a a Google Doc or a Word doc and you save it as a PDF when you're submitting something, that's fine too. But where I'm sort of going with this little one is that don't send me a link to something. I got a little trouble last term because if there's two things wrong with links. One, if I click it, I can't always open it. Almost always, it's like, well, you need permission to open this. So then it's like, okay, I'm trying to grade something on Monday morning before class, and I open it up and I can't grade it because I don't have access. So then I have to request access for it. And usually people get an email saying, here, someone has asked for access to this document. Do you want to give it to them? Then you give it to me, but then again, there's a lag and it puts me out of step. Then I can grade it. But then again, if you don't ever give me access, I can't grade it, so I'll give it a 0. So I'm kind of that way with it. But then again, the school has their own restrictions around it. As I mentioned before, they want everything done within the framework of this network, right? This enterprise system, Blackboard. So if you send me a link, that may be all fine and good for the moment. But if the school is reviewing how teachers may have graded stuff, or if there's an appeal of a grade or whatever, and they say, well, look, Mr. Lane gave me a bad grade on this document, and they just see the link and they want to open up the link, and the link is now no longer accessible or it's broken, then all of a sudden we have a record keeping problem on our hands. So don't send me moral of the story, don't send me a link, make a hard copy of the doc, upload it, all fine and good. I do not recommend copying and pasting from Google Docs or Microsoft Word and dropping it in the box where you can submit the assignment. Because when you do that, you lose all the formatting, and that's going to be important down the road when we're talking about doing MLA formatting, because things have to be a certain way. You copy and drop, you're going to lose all of it, and you're not going to get it, especially if the assignment is to format a document in MLA, in accordance with MLA formatting, and you copy and drop, and you lose all the formatting, so you're not going to get any credit for it because it's all going to be wrong. So, any questions so far about any of this? Okay. So now I got 2 green arrows. If you have been following along, you're going to see them too. And it says I got to open up the no-show assignment, and you're going to see something like this. Especially like if you see a quiz. If we have a quiz, it's going to show if you want to launch the quiz now. It's going to have little doohickeys like due dates and what have you. Then you're going to hit launch, and
you want us to launch it?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not required, but this has to be done by Monday.
Which is
or otherwise I'm going to drop you, or you're going to get dropped from the course.
which is the 18th.
Let's see. Yeah, this coming Monday. Yeah. So what does it mean? I've read, I understand, and we held responsible for all academic affairs and course policies. So we talked about the highlights. You go back and read them, and if I check true, I got the right answer. Finish. Now I'm done, right? So now I'm not going to be dropped from the class. This thing's still loading. Okay, yeah, submitting to score center, score receipt. The other thing which is important about this is because when you saw the 2 green check marks that would let me open up the no-show quiz, if I don't do the no-show quiz, the system isn't going to let you open up any of the lessons. And some of the lessons they're probably locked anyway, so don't worry about it. We're not going to be doing any lesson thingies between now and until we meet again. But nonetheless, and I've learned that the hard way when I log in as a student. It won't let me do it either. If I log in as a student, if I haven't done those 3 things, I can't actually go to the lessons and see what how the lessons are looking to you all.
Please. Wait. Don't worry.
Email receipt. Consent. Okay. Goodbye. Okay. Any questions? Course policies. Who's read the syllabus? Like, I'm going in the direction. What do y'all think you're here for, you're here to accomplish. You're here because someone made you take this class?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, okay. No, honest answers, right? I respect those, you know. If you want to be prolific writers, you know, I respect that too, but as long as it's truthful, that you're here because you're required to be here. So what are we going to do in this class? I mean, we work a lot of writing mechanics, grammar mechanics, vocabulary mechanics, reading mechanics, comprehension mechanics, things along those lines. So at the end of the day, you know, this worked. I mean, I really am very happy with what progress I've seen in prior classes, but you know, it's going to be practice. You know, practice writing, practice reading something and putting that into writing. My angle on a lot of these things are to try to have you do things that are related to something you want to do in the future. You know, you're not going to get an assignment from me saying, tell me what it's like to be an optimist or something really way out there, right? I mean, if we're going to do a process paper or an argument paper, you know, I might want to say which is or electric cars better than gas-fueled cars, something where you can actually have an argument. You can say, well, look, you might save money on gasoline with an electric car, they're more expensive. You take it any direction, you take an opinion on something, do it. So, and that's the kind of thing where if you're going into auto mechanics or something, maybe that'd be something for you. But to take something you want to do down the road. I mean, process essay, there's a lot of, I don't know why I relate to auto mechanics more than other things, but like a process essay, it might be to say, tell me how to do something related to a car. How do you change the oil? And I want clean English. I want order. I want organization. And I want to understand how to do it. So I mean, you're writing about something that hopefully you like doing or will be doing down the road. How do you solve a problem? If you're going into HVAC, we always have a lot of HVAC people. How do you diagnose a faulty fuse or sensor kind of a thing? How do you do it? How do you solve a problem? It's all relevant. But when you're telling me how you solve a problem, what I want you to do is apply it to something that you're going to be doing. That's simple. So we kind of have a twofer. And I don't grade on whether or not you've told me correctly how to change the oil. Now that's my job. That's auto mechanics' job. I just want clean English. I want clear. I want to be able to understand it. I want linear thinking. And that's going to help, when you're, going into a job interview, say, if you've done something like this, you've written it out, you've thought about it, how to do something like this, they're going to say, well, tell me how I, you might be in a job interview, tell me how I do something to a car, and you can have something in your back pocket already thought out, spelled out, and like boom, 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 right to the point. And what is the employer, the hiring official going to think? Well, this person knows what they're talking about. They're organized. They're not doing a lot of well, oh no, I forgot that, blah, blah, blah. So it's just one of those things where it's, just down the road, it's going to help. When it really means something. Let's see. Let me ask you, this kind of hits home with me. It's a little off subject, but let me ask, has anybody here ever been in an active shooter situation?
No, sir.
Has anyone else? No, you haven't, okay. Anyone?
Shot at, but not
In a school setting like this? Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, okay. What, have you all taken training in active shooter? What do you do, when you hear that rat-tat-tat-tat somewhere, right? What do you do?
Avoid, deny, and defend.
Okay, avoid.
Deny, defend.
What do you mean by deny?
It's a type of
Deny entry.
Oh, deny entry. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because again, I've not been trained in this. I saw the video that they make everybody here watch, and I remember the three takeaways I had. And I'm saying they're right, but I just want to talk about this. They said run, hide, fight back in that order. So if and I look at this room, and it's like, okay, where am I going to run to? How do I know I'm not running into a line of fire? Because obviously, the way we're situated, you don't really know where the bullets are coming from, right? I can't lock these doors; they don't have locks, so we can't deny entry to these doors. So, and fighting back, what do we do? Pick up this chair? I mean, someone's got an AK or something like that. So, what are you going to do? And I'm just throwing this out there because my daughter just recently graduated from Florida State. And last May, there was the active shooter thing. A couple of people died, and about the campus quad, central area commons. a couple people died and several others were shot. I was thinking, well, what would I do, you know, if you hear that? So I just, you know, and I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, but I just, one of these things where you think it's never gonna happen, but you know, this shit happens all the time. If we can't run, we're on the 3rd floor, right? We don't know where the bolts are coming from. You know, hiding may be our best bet. I'm throwing out my 2 cents. Y'all think differently. I'm probably thinking up front, because we've got glass door here, glass door there. If someone's walking back and forth down the hall, you know, they might look in, they say, oh, there's a classroom of people, you know. And since I can't lock the doors, you know, my plan is to shut the lights off. And probably up here is our safe spot. Man, anyone have any other thoughts? What would you do if you hear the rat-tat-tat somewhere? So, yeah.
I believe I had watched the video,
Uh-huh.
and I think they done something to that medicine up top there. Like they had kept it shut with something.
You think there's a way to lock this?
Yeah, you throw a belt around it.
Say it again?
Put a belt around the thing. Tie it up.
Oh, okay.
It won't pull open, it opens that way. They can't kick it in. Tie a
Yeah.
belt up around that thing, it'll keep it from coming
Okay,
up.
okay. You have to show me how to do that.
Yes.
So anyway, again, it's one of those things that hit home with me, because like, what do you do, you know, when it happens? It can never be too prepared, but yeah, so if we can lock the doors, that's probably our safe zone anyhow. So I feel like I've forgotten something. Let's do the icebreaker. We got 10, actually we have a lot of time. Any questions what we've sort of talked about, anything at all? Ownership quiz, all that, okay. No extra credit. The final, there will not be a final. We're gonna have, you know, at least three tests, you know, other quizzes and little paragraph-like assignments. The final is gonna be the elevator pitch. So we're trying to, you know, a lot of things that we're gonna do, you know, with research, with language and everything else, and 10% of the grade is the elevator pitch. And I can sort of sneak preview this. Do you all know what an elevator pitch is? Or elevator pitch? Okay. So imagine, they call it an elevator pitch, because imagine if you're getting on an elevator with the big boss of the company, and you want to impress the big boss with some idea or something you've got. You know, you've got about 20, 30, 60 seconds of that person's time to make an impression on that person as to why they should, you know, hire you, promote you, take up your idea, that kind of thing. So it's just a condensed way and elevator, or why they, well, it's kind of why they call it. But imagine you're at a career fair or something, and you're walking up to somebody who's got a zillion people in line, and you got about 30 seconds to say, here, I'm Doug Laine, I'm interested in doing this because I've got these credentials and I've done this, something very quickly you can come up and sell yourself. That's really what the culmination is, and that's, you know, it's only worth 10%. That's a grade level, right? But we're actually not quite a grade level, because it's 10% of the, I think it's 10% of 40%. Right? Anyway, it's worth a worthy chunk, but that's gonna be sort of the final exam. And we will not have, and we're done the last week of regular classes, so, you know, if you have finals in other classes, you know, we'll be done with this before you have to study for any final exams. So let's, yeah, it's a really full house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's full house. So let's do groups of, well, let's do geographically desirable groups. Let's say U4, or one group, U4 another group, 1, 2, 3, 4, U4 another group, U4 another group, and in the back we go 1, 2, 3, 4, U4 or a group, and U4 a group. Here's the task. This will be the last task of the day. I'll go last. What I want you to do is 4 pieces of information. Name, what you're studying, what you want to do, you know, career-wise. Sort of, hang on, let me finish. train of thought. What were you gonna ask?
How were we gonna introduce ourselves and tell us what we were majoring in?
Yeah, well, let me finish. So we want the name, what you wanna do, what you expect out of this class, what you want out of it. I mean, no one wants to be here, I get that, what you want out of this class, right? And just something interesting about you. I mean, you know, pets, kids, you've been shot at, right? So, something.
I was hunting and someone.
So something just sort of like, something just, you know,
Please.
something maybe different about you that, you know, help us know each other. But here's the catch, right? You know, in your group, you're gonna introduce to the class someone else, not yourself, and likewise. So you're gonna know someone's name, you're gonna know what they wanna do, you're gonna know something unique about them, and something they want out of this class. So we'll go something like this. Someone else, well, I don't know the names, but someone, if I were sitting in the group, someone say, Mr. Doug Laine, he's studying auto mechanics, he wants to be an automotive specialist, and he's an avid tennis player, and he wants to get a good grade in this class, or he wants to learn how to write better, talk better, communicate better, that kind of thing. So, clear?
Yes, sir. Crystal clear.
First of all, okay. So, let's say about 5-7 minutes. Let's wrap this up.
What's cracking? I'm Syed. Syed. Yeah. Giovanni. Yeah. Yes. Cybersecurity. Can you speak up clear so I can hear you?
Alright, so I'm an automotive and electronics. We're doing shortage. Whether that's like something interesting.
That's why I'm here. That made me think
Me? I want to be in cybersecurity to learn how to do the computers. That's what the problem is. Yeah. What? SYED. SYED. Yeah.
If you ask something about me or whatever, I say my neighbor's house is murdered. I say my neighbor's house is murdered now. 2 months. You can say that.
State of I
They just told me to take this and then wait
Is this your first semester here?
I started in 2025 actually. Yeah. January. Yep, I passed computer concepts, first year experience, basic psychology, and hardware. What?
You already got experience all over college.
Yes.
Hashtag mechanics.
Or maybe go to college. I get my like diploma for HVAC. I'm gonna get my state license. I'm doctorate.
Me? 27. Yeah. Nice. And how old are you? And you? 19.
This is your first time in college. I didn't want to go to college. I went straight to work. I said, fuck this shit. I work nights.
Superman.
I work that shit.
Yeah. Video point.
I was working warehouse nights.
God.
Like 4 p.m. to like 6 a.m. every day. I'm like, let me do something I want to do 6 cars. I don't want to take. I just want to take the main classes on board. Like the HVAC. I don't want to do math. I don't want to do math. For my diploma, I got the living room psychology. That's general. For diploma. I just got to get over it.
What's time? TNT. The truth.
I'm not doing school. I'm not
Alright, so he's not ready. Ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, yeah, let's, I think everyone's ready to wrap up. I know you all have a good conversation, I love it. So, there was a question, and the question was, I think your question was, does one person introduce the rest of the group? And if that was your question, the answer is no. What you're gonna do is introduce somebody else. So make sure everybody in your group gets introduced by somebody else. So, follow me? Is that your question or no? What was your question? You had a question. Oh, who is it? Okay, did I answer that right answer? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was sort of a little bit. Well, let's start here. So, go ahead. And if you don't mind standing up and introducing to the rest of the group, up me.
Her name is Anaya Jane Dress Rodriguez, and she's studying EMS professions, and she wants to pass this class. That's her interesting fact about the class. And her interesting fact about herself is that she loves cats, and she has 3.
My name is Brittany. Once classified. Her name is Laura, and her major is business management, and she make the clothes and like fashion, and she had the business. She studied the business management.
Yeah.
Her name is but she go as Jacqueline. Her major is in nursing assistant, and she's speaking English. She's only been in this country for about 2 years. She's learning, and yeah, she just wants to.
You got that? He likes HVAC and likes boxing.
Okay, and, okay, that was very short, but okay.
Right here, I got Chris. He wants to do automotive. He likes working on his cars, and he's just trying to pass the class.
Okay.
This is Syed. He's in here for computers,
And cybersecurity.
cybersecurity. He's been here for a few months already, and he's just trying to pass the class.
Okay. Your turn.
Thanks.
You're gonna introduce him?
Your name? This is Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta introduce that.
Oh, good, yeah, go around. You got to introduce, does he have your dates?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
He should.
You got his information? You introduce him? What's his name?
Giovanni.
Okay, why is he here?
To learn automobile.
Okay. What's special about him?
I don't know.
I'm smart.
Smarter.
Okay, all right. Good enough, all right, let's go.
That wasn't easy.
This is Bruno. What's it called? He's working at HVAC. He's forced to be here. Yeah, he likes working on cars.
Okay.
This is Jason. He's majoring in what was it? EMS. EMS, and his first year. And, yeah.
Okay.
He's here because he wants to pass the class.
Sure.
And he's a hustler.
He's what?
Hustler. He's making money.
Okay.
This is laine. He likes football, he studies cybersecurity, and he wants to pass.
All right.
With F49, which is almost company. Almost company. Company.
He likes to build computers, and his goal in this class is to learn more about, to get better at reading and writing.
Hi, this is Carlo. He's studying in HVAC. He wants to pass the class. And the fun fact about him is that he has 3 dogs, 3 pups, and 1 cat.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh wow. All right.
Michael, he's retired, he works the class with us, and, he has a dog that is his
Nah, this is Oscar. He's in the general automotive. He works in a body shop. So if you have any problems with your car, y'all hit him up. He wants to pass this class.
50 years of
And his hobby is photography.
Okay, good. Well done. All right. Last row.
This is Tyler. He said he likes hunting, fishing, something he's here for yoga.
This is my main man, Carlos, was usually at home, and he's still in his.
Tyler, he likes to hunt. He's studying yoga.
And he's introduced.
Brian, he and
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Okay, last 4.
Her name is Amanda. She's studying culinary. She works at Dairy Queen, and she's hosting class.
Okay, great.
Her name is Genesis, and her major is welding, and she has her class is the swimming class, and she has 2 jobs.
Okay, 2 jobs. Oh my God. How many classes you taken?
3.
3 and 2 jobs? Oh no.
Mr. Lane, I finished the no-show assignment just now.
Okay, thank you.
This is Tyler B. His major is HVAC. He wants to improve his
Nearly
English
apologize.
reading and writing, and he likes to listen to music. and play
Make the
songs.
next day.
Okay, great.
His name is, Jesus. He's studying
Busted.
cybersecurity. He wants to improve his communications, and he likes to ride dirt bikes.
Okay, have fun. Okay. Well, good. Well done. Well done. I'm just going to say a few words about myself. I'm Laine. As I said earlier, I got a degree in English in 1986 from a college in Virginia. I got a reaction from the editor when I said 1986.
That's a nice year.
Yeah, it is funny, he's that old, right? So anyway, and I wasn't a good thing about going into teaching way back then, but once I got my degree, you know, I found out that, you know, I need to take other, like, education courses to teach K-12 and things like that. I didn't want to take any more courses, so again, I just went out to the market to find a job. And I ended up getting a job, an entry-level job at the United States Department of Education. Had nothing to do with education, all about the money. So I spent almost 38 years in student financial aid, various angles of it. I spent about 10 years doing policy work. And a lot of this, I'm saying this because a lot of it sort of, you know, dovetails into things that I think I can bring to the class. So when you're doing policy work, you're writing regulations, you're interpreting laws and things along those lines. So, I mean, clearly you gotta have reading comprehension, you gotta have very good writing skills. If you if you're writing a rule, right, writing, you know, something like that, you know, if you have a hole in that rule, people are just gonna charge through that hole and just, you know, trying to stop the flow of money, say, and there's a hole in it. You know, you can see rampant fraud and abuse, which we saw all the time. So I was doing that for about 10 years, you know, mostly in the student loan programs. So after about 10 years of that, I moved on to be what I guess you might call it like a compliance officer. I mean, having written rules about, you know, how schools manage student financial aid money. You know, I'd be sort of a natural person to be sort of enforcing those rules that schools have to follow to award student financial aid money, kind of a thing. And so I did that for probably that management side of it for probably a good 10 years. And somewhere in the whole mix of things, I got a master's degree in business and I got a master's degree in accounting and finance. Because a lot of things that we do as government oversight, you know, is look at audited financial statements. So you have to know something about auditing, you know, the formal, you know, the formal auditing that accountants, CPAs do, and you know, well, how to read the numbers in the books kind of thing. So, you know, I did actually pass the CPA exam while I was doing all that. I never became a CPA because I was doing the management track and all that. So anyway, so then we moved down here about 15, 16 years ago. And what I was doing on that side of it, you know, we're on the collection side, you know, sort of like my career went full circle, spending a lot of policy stuff in student loans to collecting defaulted student loans. So I mean, we had about 20-some contractors that you know, we did business with to try to collect the $100 billion with a B billion dollars of student loans that are in default. It's a sickening figure. But nonetheless, so I've learned a lot about the business side, a lot of the laws that go around, you know, collecting debts and all those sorts of things. And that's sort of my leadership kind of executive role there. So, as I was in DC before I left. So nonetheless, I've taken various leadership classes and all that. I've done, you know, again, like I said, I have the degree in English, which is sort of the basic qualification to do this class. Having spent 20-some years as a manager, you know, there's a lot of sort of people management, team building, team development, employee development, you know, grading work, giving people feedback on their work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of project management, whatever. I've got a whole lot of those things that I bring to the class. So I'm not you're probably not your traditional English teacher. You know, I'm not your career English teacher. Like I mentioned earlier, I want you to work on things that are going to be sort of career relevant. So not only when I brought up the thing about, you know, they, you know, do me a process paragraph essay on how to do something that you might be doing professionally, but other things just about, you know, interactions in the workplace, team building like things, you know, dealing with a difficult colleague, a difficult boss, things along those lines that are going to come up, you know, that are all going to be relevant, things I want you to read, and I'll put reading materials out there to read, to think about, and what would you do, you know, if you were in that situation, kind of thing. So, things you can, what I hope you can use. So, anyway.
Mention one question.
Yes.
Are you sure going to show us how to get like the
Something which you might mention. Relying on cool.
I don't know if I'm the one to show you, quite honestly. So we can have a minute to talk about that. When I say I'm not the one, I know how to do it on my iPhone, but I don't know how to do it on like an Android, and again, nonetheless, yeah, let's go over that in a second. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Why I'm here, you know, learning support, I'm here to help you. I'm not, you know, here to, you know, stop you from moving on with your career. If you give me the effort to follow the instructions, I should have mentioned that. I don't put a lot in an assignment. I don't put like long, expanded instructions. I'll have a few items in there, a few sentences, short ones or bullets. And I guess what's really key about this is read the instructions. I mean, if I want 5 sentences, and I want an introductory sentence, 3 support sentences, and a concluding sentence, I don't want 4 sentences, I don't want 5 support sentences, you know, give me 1 of each, so kind of thing, because if you're missing 1, that's 20% off the grade. And if you just give me a long jumble, 1 long sentence, you know, I won't give you any credit for it, because it just doesn't follow the instructions. So they tend to be simple, but just read them. You know, if I want 5 things, think about down the road, you know, if you're doing something for a client, your client wants 10 things, and if you give them 8, your client is going to be very unhappy with you, your boss is going to be very unhappy with you. So just read the instructions, another exercise in, you know, reading, comprehension, kind of thing. If you ever have questions about, you know, what's in the content of the assignment, just send me an email, say, I don't get this. You know, it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense to you, it may not make sense to a lot of other people, so I can sort of help, you know, sort of in a way, if you're asking the question, you're helping me help other people, because I'm sure people have the same question. So in terms of feedback, and I'm sort of putting this out there just as a preparatory remark, because there are a lot of people here, I'm not going to give you voluminous feedback on anything you've written or done. I just obviously don't have the luxury of time, because we've got 25 here. I might have 100 students this term, so it's a little much to be able to, you know, give you timely feedback. So I just tend to give you bullets. You know, there's a mistake here, this is wrong. You know, but if it comes out that way, don't take it the wrong way. It's just I'm just pointing out things that are errors. Just, you know, and then what I want you to do is read them. You know, because I don't, you know, I put a lot of thought into the instructions to keep them simple and clear. I put a lot of thought, similarly like in feedback, you know, to keep it simple and clear. But I want you to read it so you're not making the same mistake over and over again. So just take you a few minutes to read the feedback, like, aha, I did this wrong, that kind of a thing. And, you know, hopefully you won't be making the same mistake twice. Okay, any questions now? I think I'm done. About getting this on the phone, I can try, but I'm sure there are better people. Let me ask, who would need assistance trying to set up an EdTech email on your phone? Okay.
No, I have a question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can't even get on none of this stuff outside the campus. Yeah, I went down there, but you gotta have some kind of, Okta, yeah.
Oh, it's it's that 2-factor thing, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a phone? Presumably, yeah.
I got a phone.
Because on mine, when I'm doing that, I mean, I hold the camera up to that thing, and it reads like one of those square codes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and then it goes through insurance.
I don't understand why we have to have a whole other device to get on a device.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
If I could answer that question, I would, but I got about it too.
Who do I need to talk to about
The
that?
IT people, you're gonna have to call them and say, look, I can't get in, what do I do about this?
If you call them, cause I had the same problem.
Yeah.
If you call them and you tell them like, it keeps trying to make you do a new code to get in, they'll give you a way to go on the Okta app and you just hit the code, and anytime you sign it, they'll give you a new code to be able to just get in there.
Oh.
Well, I got this Okta app, but there ain't nothing on there.
I go to the ladies at the front desk.
I don't like that.
You gotta log in with your class email.
Yeah.
With
Just
that
not
email.
asking, it'll reset your office.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't be of more help. Having spent, how many years did I say with the US government, you just imagine what the factoring was to log into any of their systems. I think it finally drove me out of there, because, you know, when you got hundreds of millions of records, personal stuff, you couldn't log into anything to do your work anymore, so crazy. But anyway, I know that wasn't helpful, but yeah, reach out to IT and so they can do. You are free to go. If anyone has any other questions, shoot.
Is there no?
Sorry.
Is there no?